after serving abroad. I want to bring in our first guest to discuss, Daryl Johnson. He's a former senior terrorism analyst at the Department of Homeland Security, and he's kind enough to give us a few minutes. And Daryl, when we talk and look at these militia groups, who are they? And I know one size doesn't fit all, apparently, but what do they basically believe?
Yeah, so the militia movement in this country, the modern day, started after two standoffs we had back in the early 90s, and that is Ruby Ridge and Waco. And basically, this was the private citizens, extremists on the far right. This was their rally call and their answer to this government tyranny that they supposedly saw during these two standoffs. Well, during the early 2000s, the militia movement has subsided considerably, and we've only seen a resurgence since the previous administration. When Barack Obama was elected, we started seeing this second wave of militias. And what they are is basically anti-government groups. For the most part, they are defensive in nature, but as we are starting to see, they're becoming more aggressive. They're starting to bring arms to protests and rallies, and they're starting to prepare and anticipate a civil war.
This is the part I'm confused about. There's a lot of it I'm confused about, but if they're anti-government, and as you said, they really hated Obama for whatever reason, what do they find in connection with Trump, particularly all the recent comments that he said smearing veterans, even veterans who gave the ultimate sacrifice? Where's the connectivity to this president?
Well, you can't speak broadly to the militia movement. Each militia is unique. They have different issues that they latch onto. I mean, one issue in particular that transcends all militia groups are Second Amendment rights. Immigration is another issue that pretty much transcends the entire movement. But you do have some movements that are pro-Trump, and there's some that are anti-Trump. There's some that are independent. There's some that are Republican. So you can't just paint a broad brush and say that all militias are the same.
Back in 2009, you started, when you were at DHS, to put this on the radar, that this is something that should be a real concern here. Recently, DHS had another opportunity to, in fact, even not only ring that bell, but also increase the volume. Instead, they even changed the language to minimize it. What was going on there?
My report was basically a warning to state and local law enforcement of the resurgence of anti-government groups on the far right, as well as white supremacist groups. And unfortunately, my warning back in 2009 went unheeded because it became political fodder in a battle between the Republicans, who just came off of heavy losses and lost the White House, and using my report as a way to get back at the newly elected Democrats.
But then